Yes guys, what's going on? It's Dan and Tom here from the tabletennisdailyacademy.com. In our previous video on the backspin ghost serve, we had a lot of comments on people asking us how to do the reverse serve.
Yeah, so in this video we're going to give you 5 simple steps to learning and mastering the reverse serve and adding it to your game.
Yeah, we sure are. Now we see many top players using this serve such as Timo Boll, Fan Zhendong and also a2qDUlEe1ck. So we're going to keep this video nice and simple for you to master this very effective serve.
Now don't forget we've also recently released our serving masterclass course with Per Garel, so be sure to check that out in the links below.
But for now, let's get to it. Okay, so just before we start, let's get this grip correct. So as you can see here, my finger and thumb is adjacent to each other. It's very similar to the pendulum serve. However, with the reverse, you want to have your finger a bit higher up, means you come more underneath the ball. So my 3 fingers tuck in there, and then you've got the finger and thumb pressing onto the rubber to get that feeling.
So the first step to mastering this serve is understanding the technique and the movement. So as with the ghost serve, it's important to get this feeling and understanding first.
It sure is, Tom. Now many players are used to doing a pendulum serve, so they've got good muscle memory with the wrist going in this action. Now with the reverse serve, it's the wrist in the opposite action, so it does take some practice. Now there's a good drill to get your wrist used to going in this motion, and it's being square to the table like so. Now what I'm looking to do now is bringing the wrist back towards my body and just flicking out and just getting used to this motion. And you'll see here, I'm just getting that fine brush.
So as you can see, Dan's bringing the wrist back first and then secondly releasing out in front. So it's these 2 movements that are key. So 1 and 2.
And impressively, I'm getting quite a lot of backspin here. It's nice, but I'm just getting that nice fine brush.
Now what it does by being square to the table and facing that direction, it stops you using the body and feet and everything else. Yeah. So it just isolates this wrist movement and that action that we're looking for.
It does. It keeps you going forward, which is crucial to the reverse serve. Now making sure the bat's level. When I'm cutting through, I'm not going downwards or up. Just nice and level, wrist back and brushing through like so. Okay, so step 2, we're now going to bring this wrist movement into a service action.
Yeah, so we're going to look at it as a whole. So now Dan's a bit more side onto the table, which by doing that allows him to have this space here under the body to bring the wrist back and then release forward as we looked at in point 1.
Yep.
So also as you see, as he brings the wrist back, he's using the elbow to lift up and create that space again. That's really key.
Absolutely, Tom. So I'm going to use this wrist action now. Keep it very simple. Make sure I'm following through with that wrist. That's key.
Pointing forward, yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. So we're just going to use this action and just get used to the serve.
So as you can see now, it's not only the wrist, Dan's using the forearm and the elbow to push through the ball and then brush and get that nice smooth action and that dwell on the ball, which in turn will obviously create that spin and grip into the table.
Yeah, so you guys, you're just looking at this motion here. Wrist back and through.
So the best way of thinking about this is 2 parts. Feel like you really draw the bat back and then the second part down and forward, releasing into the ball.
Yeah.
So 1 and 2, releasing forward.
And during this stage, make sure when you are trying to use this wrist, try and land in the middle area of your table. That'll give you good safety to get that ball going forward. Big common error is players doing this serve and they land towards here.
Too short.
Yeah, too short, and then you go to the net. So you're trying to land in the middle of the table, but getting that wrist to flick through, that is absolutely crucial. And I can't emphasize that enough. Getting that wrist to follow through on the serve.
Okay, so here we are then. Let's have a look at the serve in slow motion. So here we can really emphasize the wrist drawing back and then releasing out forward on contact. We can also see here Dan's elbow raises up to create the space for the service action, and also the forearm pushes forward to create stability and control in the serve.
So step 3, we're now going to use our body during the reverse serve to progress from just using the wrist on its own.
Definitely. Now the body turn is a really key element to the reverse serve. It enables us to be more fluid and relaxed and stop the serve being jerky or too tense. If you don't use the body and the arm alone, it becomes quite difficult to generate the correct action.
Let's take a look.
So you can see here, Dan, as he draws back with the bat, he's turning his body, his shoulders, his waist, and then as he comes through and connects and meets the ball, he's then turning his body forward. So he's making use of the shoulder turn to really get the ball going forward and help the direction of the serve.
Yeah. Also in this step, we're looking to try and get 2 bounces now on the other end. By using the body, it allows us to have good flow. If the serve's jerky, the ball can go long. So being nice and relaxed and using our body allows us to get that inertia and wrist snapping into the ball to get the 2 bounces.
Now the other thing that the body really helps you do is stay low in the serve. If you just use the arm, the serve can be quite upright, but by turning and keeping the body low and forward, that enables you to finish in a good position as well. So if we have one more look, as Dan turns through and contacts, by using that body rotation, he's able to finish in a good position, ready for the next shot. Okay, so step number 4 is now changing the spin with the reverse serve. So we want to look at creating more backspin side spin or more topspin side spin.
So bringing the wrist back and releasing forward under the ball creates side spin backspin, and then bringing the wrist back and going more around the side of the ball creates side spin topspin. So like this. So backspin and then side spin topspin. My angle pointed a bit more downwards to come around the side, top part of the ball.
Now what's great about this is, as Dan said, it's a subtle change.
Yeah.
So it's quite hard for the opponent to read if you're going under and getting more backspin or more around the side and getting more side spin topspin. So that's what's really effective about this serve and what players struggle to read. Okay, Dan, so let's see a couple of side spin backspin then. So brushing down, forward and under the ball.
Yep.
One more.
Using
Great.
that body.
And now a bit more of a side spin topspin, so coming more around the side. So there we see the ball jumps a little bit more, kicks through. One more look. Great. So if you notice both of these serves, regardless of whether it's backspin side spin or more of a topspin side spin, Dan is still contacting the ball at the front area of the bat, and that allows you to get that maximum brush across the rubber.
Yeah.
If you contact too far towards the end of the bat, you're not going to get that same spin effect and actual brush across the rubber. So if we take a look here at a slow motion comparison, you can see on the left hand side, Dan really cuts underneath the ball and forward for the side spin backspin. Compared to the right hand side, he brushes a lot more around the side of the ball and the bat slightly raises up on contact to create that topspin.
Alright guys, step 5 is an overview on the reverse serve.
Yeah, so you've got to remember serve is one of the only things that you can really easily practice on your own with a box of balls, so make sure you do take the time to do that. Now the other thing to bear in mind is really try and understand which stage you're at with the serve. So first mastering the wrist movement like in stage 1, perhaps it's more body movement or the contact on the bat. So really try and understand where you are and focus on that area before moving on to the more complicated areas like disguising the spin.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's all about experimenting and not worrying too much about what spin you're getting at the start. Remember what we said, use the wrist, really get that motion. After a few weeks, your wrist starts to be able to flick very easily. At the beginning, it feels quite awkward, but over time, it becomes very natural, and that's what you're looking for with the reverse serve. Just little and often, 20 minutes a few times a week will make a big difference, and having this reverse serve, bringing this into your game, it is very effective, and will get you a lot of loose returns. So there we go guys, there was the reverse serve. Now, it does take time to learn this serve, but once you do start mastering it and bring it into your game, it gives you a lot more variation to your serving game.
It definitely is, as Dan said, a really effective serve. Now, if you want to learn more exciting and interesting serves, we also have the Serving Masterclass available with Per Gorell, so be sure to check that out in the links below.
But for now guys, be sure to like this video, really hope you enjoyed it, and let us know in the comments what other videos you'd like to see by me and Tom. But for now,
Thanks for watching.